Yeah.
You want to do the intro?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Two Broke Thumbs. It's me, your boy, James, with the co-host Cole,
Howdy, howdy.
and today we be discussing one of Cole's favorite directors, and more specifically, his new movie, Asteroid City. Director
Yeah,
in
yeah.
question is Wes Anderson.
We love
So I
Wes
guess
Anderson. Well, do we
I
want to
think
jump into the movie? Or do we want to talk about topics of what's
I
happened
think I should
recently?
get some background out. I
Oh yeah, good point.
didn't know anything about Wes Anderson,
Wait, really?
except for the memes that have been circulating. Yeah,
Okay.
the AI creating Wes Anderson film memes.
Oh
Apparently, he
my,
doesn't like those.
oh my God, I remember those. Those were so bad.
Yeah,
They took the concept. They were like, oh, all of his stuff's in the center frame. We just have to make it look designed like that. And it's like,
yeah.
no,
It's
it's
like there
more.
might be a little more to it than that, but
Yeah,
for what it's worth, if it's just a meme, I can appreciate it for being just a meme. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I understand why he wouldn't like those.
Mm-hmm.
Makes perfect sense to me. So, I had seen Um, you know, Jesus Christ, am I really gonna do this all day today? I had seen Fantastic Mr. Fox with you,
Yeah, that's right.
and I had like caught part of Isle of Dogs in passing, at a friend's house, and that was it. So I watched Isle of Dogs, and I liked that one a lot, and I watched The French Dispatch, which I had kind of a hard time getting into, but then
That's that's the
it was
take.
easy
That's
after a
a
little while.
that's the take with a lot of people who are fans of Wes Anderson's work. You either really like The French Dispatch, or you think it's just whatever.
I'm
I'm in
feeling pretty whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in the whatever camp as well. I like the idea of what he tried to do with The French Dispatch. So for those who don't know, The French Dispatch is a not correct. It's a magazine that he made into a movie where they took stories from the magazine and then like made smaller stories within the movie. And each one had like a different way of it being filmed. Like the first one was all in black and white, unless they wanted to show the color or show a passing of time. Then there was the war one, which was shot more like a usual Wes Anderson piece, and then the final one was they had like an animated section near the end.
Hmm.
So he kind of combined all his styles, and the idea of it was supposed to be you can find art in anything, in any sort of medium. That's like the message of the movie, which isn't a bad idea to like on paper, but it feels muddled by the different styles he was trying to go for.
Yeah, there's like it just feels like a lot is
Mm-hmm.
happening, you know?
Yeah, and like there's a
Again,
lot of layers to the film.
yeah. And I enjoyed it. I liked
Mm-hmm.
watching it. I'd probably have to like sit on it a little while longer and then give it another look to decide
Really
if
get
I
a
like
feel of
really
it.
like it or if I'm pretty indifferent to it.
I get
But
you. I get you.
yeah, overall, uh definitely not a poor experience. And then I guess
You watched The Great Budapest, right?
no, I did not.
Oh, really? Okay.
It occurred to me after I told you I watched the movies you told me to watch. I was
Mm.
like, wait, he told me a third one, didn't he?
Yeah,
And yeah,
that's okay.
I,
That's okay.
okay, good.
I, I
um,
I was just going back to watch it if you can, because like that's one of the ones that like got real popular. That's the one that like kind of made him better known in like the smaller community because it had that like the flavor and the style of his films. Like he kind of found
okay,
his footing.
okay. Then yeah, I'll have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I should have some time today.
There you go. There you go.
And then as for Isle of Dogs,
mm,
I found that one a lot more engaging. I don't know. I, his way of like filming
mm,
is strange to me and it stands out. And it's not a bad thing, but I think it feels like it constantly reminds me that I'm watching a movie and it's like it makes me feel less immersed. that kind of goes away when you're doing Isle of Dogs, since it is like, you know, animated.
Right.
So it feels like my brain automatically wants to give it extra leeway. So I think it made Isle of Dogs a lot easier to get immersed in. And I like that one.
I think the feeling though of feeling like you're watching a movie is something he strives for, because it kind of, he's not trying to put on a show that it's something more than what it really is. He's like, you're sitting in a theater, you're watching a film, be immersed in the characters rather than being immersed in the story itself. You should be interested in what the characters doing, what they want, their goals, their aspirations. And the way he writes too is very straightforward. There's not a lot of ums or ahs or anything. He's a lot of just, this character is going to say this line of dialogue to this character, then they're going to go do a different thing and go to a different character and do the same thing in this like very stiff sort of tone.
Yes, very stiff is how I would describe it. Characters will walk onto screen. They will like either look at each other or they will look at the screen. They will say what they need to say, and then they will do the next thing. And it's kind of funny because I think a less talented artist director would do this, and it would come off as like really inexperienced or like really poorly done, like as if like a bunch of kids were putting on a play or something.
Right.
But something about it works. I like it. It's fun to watch.
He has a very good directing style. He can get people, like the scene that lives rent free in my head. You haven't seen it yet, but in the French Dispatch, there's the whole idea of it is that hotel, or not French, sorry, Grand Budapest Hotel. My bad.
Oh, okay.
There's a scene in the Grand Budapest Hotel where a lady dies, and she gives a very popular painting to a hotel owner. He steals it, and later in the film, the people realize he stole it. And like, there's these three ladies who just like mutter to each other. Like, they don't have names. They just go, "Oh, I don't know." Like, they just mutter over top each other, but in a specific order. And once he realizes, he takes the painting, breaks it, and goes like, "Where's that son of a bitch?" Like, he like has this like big angry rant, and it's super well done. Like, the way that even if it's stilted, it's still, you could still feel the emotion of the characters. They get very animated, and I think that's why he does really good with animated movies too. He's able to like make people, like, make the characters way more what's the word I'm looking for? Exaggerated. Like the scene when they're at the beaver dam and he's trying to get the house, or the tree house, I guess you would call it. They're like gnawing at each other. They're about to start fighting each other, and they're like breaking basically into like animalistic behavior until Bill Murray snaps back into place after hearing a ding. Also, yeah, he has a bunch of famous peoples in his movie too. Like, I was gonna say that too. A whole bunch of like A-list actors. They all say they like filming with him because, you know, it's always a fun time on set.
That's actually what I was gonna say. I imagine if you have all these A-list actors for these movies that aren't like, that don't seem to be big budget, and I don't know how they do in the box office. I guess I could have checked, but like I definitely got the vibe. Oh, these people are probably having a lot of fun doing this.
Let me check.
Did I lose you? Oh, there you are. Okay.
No, I'm looking to see. All right, so Asteroid City, take a guess at how much it costs to make. The newest one.
Oh, geez. They're 50 million.
Less.
30?
You're near the ballpark. It's 25 million.
Okay.
Which, that's pretty cheap considering, like, films, how much films have been costing. It made 41 million worldwide.
Okay.
So it made its money back. It didn't have a lot of advertising, so usually Wes Anderson films don't get a lot of advertising. It's like, hey, here's a trailer. All right, see you in the theaters when it comes out. And that's it. He's very smart. Like, he knows if you like his films, you're gonna go see his films.
I gotcha.
Which is strange to think about, because I want to bring this up at some point before we get into the film. Hollywood is not doing great.
Oh, they're having a time right now, aren't they?
Yeah, from the Writers Guild Association, from the actors now joining the Writers Guild Association, to DreamWorks having a flop movie, Indiana Jones flopping, The Flash flopping. Like, the films are just not doing. I think since Spider-Verse, nothing's really made a lot of money.
Yeah, I assume Mission Impossible will do really well.
I think it
And go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure it made 80 million opening day.
Oh damn, okay. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go see it and haven't seen it yet, so it'll make at least $10 more.
Yeah, Dead Reckoning Part 1 sets franchise 5-day US opening record with 80 million.
Okay.
And how much did it cost to make?
That's probably more expensive.
Mission Impossible 7, right? Dead Reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
It was 291 million. So if they keep that up, they can make their money back.
Oh, I'm sure they'll have no problem.
Yeah, I'm imagining it's going to be like 400, 500 million total, including advertising.
Yeah.
And everyone loves a good Mission Impossible.
Yeah, Mission Impossible is pretty reliable. I really liked the last one, Fallout. I thought
I remember
really good.
I remember when it came out, I was with a bunch of I had like a religious group I was friends with for a while. I wasn't religious, but they were like very chill, very cool, and open about everything.
I got you.
And they invited me.
Like
yeah, they invited me over, going like, "Yo, Cole, we know you love movies. Do you want to watch every single Mission Impossible movie before Fallout?" I was like, "Yo, that sounds fun as fuck." So we sat through all the Mission Impossible movies, and it was fucking amazing to watch them through. Because they flowed together pretty well, considering like the sort of subject matter that it is of how long the series is. It was a fun experience. You know, that's the movie you throw on with a bunch of pals to watch and be like, "Yo, this guy's so cool."
Yeah, it is. It's nice because those are like they're pretty reliable, right? And yeah, the action movies, Tom Cruise, fun to watch. And then Fallout, I thought even took it a step further. Like the action scenes, I'd argue, were like much better than like average for like the last 10 years action scenes. And the story was really well done as well, or at least like not problematic, solid. I guess I could say.
Yeah, I get you. I'm reading an article about the box office situation. They brought up a movie of a deep cut. Most recently, 2012's John Carter, retitled from the original John Carter of Mars in hopes to sever any implied connection to 2011's box office bomb Mars Needs Moms, failed so breathtakingly that Disney turned full face toward the then sure bets of existing intellectual property. So we have the Marvel Star Wars world we live in because of John Carter. Can you believe it?
Wild.
At the same time, the studio also turned away from traditional yet expensive 2D animation after the abysmal poor showings of movies such as Treasure Planet and Home on the Range. We just watched Treasure Planet, by the way. I know we're going off on a tangent. Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. The reason why it did so poorly is because Disney didn't advertise it at all.
There's a good list somewhere of really good movies that did not do well in the box office, and it's like a crying shame.
Yeah,
like Shawshank Redemption, it's like #1 on IMDb. It's a great movie. It flopped hard, I'm pretty sure.
Really? That's fucking crazy.
God, we were talking about this yesterday. The issue seems to be it was out at the same time as two other movies, and they were both movies that like we know about. Like one was Forrest Gump, and I can't remember what the other one was, but it's like
stuff that had like way more cultural impact.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. See that,
or at least they would have appeared. A customer would have opted to go to those first.
Right.
It's like when Titanfall 2 came out a week before a Call of Duty game and a week after a Battlefield game. It's like, no.
That's rough for Titanfall. What the fuck?
Yep.
What the fuck were they thinking?
They weren't.
They thought about everything else. They thought about the story, the gameplay, the mechanics, the movement. But when they look at that calendar, they're like, dumb.
They couldn't move off the calendar.
Oh my god. Yeah. Back to the point at hand. I'm gonna laugh real quick at the Flash being put in the metaverse. Ha. All right. That's enough about that. I don't think we need to talk about
that.
I don't think you haven't seen it, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do you know when what's up?
I had a theory and I wanted to run it by you.
A film
I
theory?
think it's pretty solid. I guess it's film related, yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
So AAA games are having a thing lately where they come out in a very unfinished state, not like, oh, it's fine, it just needs like a patch or two to clean up a couple rough edges, but instead like huge optimization problems and like the game just not even running or breaking consistently.
You're talking about the new Star Wars?
Yeah, that being one of them.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
I think there was like 5 this year already, but excuse me. But I bring this up. It seems that like indie games especially and like lower tier games essentially are getting a lot more attention for it. And that's a good thing, and it's a nice thing because it's really easy because fairly small studios can put together a nice indie game, something like Hollow Knight, and like it can do really well because like the Steam Marketplace is a really good place to get your games, and like everyone can put a game up there. So I had a similar theory. I think the same thing might happen in film with like smaller animation studios, because if like I think like Disney and other companies might start moving away from the $500 million productions if they're not making money back on them, and that might open up for like different animated films to be able to thrive in a more open market.
This actually recently happened.
Yeah.
There's a film on Netflix that came out called Nimona. It was in development hell and ended up being picked up by a small indie animation company. It was being made by Blue Sky, and as you know, Disney bought Blue Sky and then closed it. So the movie just never got finished. It got picked up by a smaller group. It came out on Netflix, and it is currently one of the most popular movies on the platform. So your theory does hold water. It's just you're looking for the wrong company to do that idea. You're looking at the wrong spots. I'm sorry to say.
No, that's all right.
I was with you until you said Disney, and I was like, because the whole thing about
maybe not Disney, but just like large studios in general.
Yeah.
It's not like Disney's gonna stop.
The big thing that really got people invested in Nimona is and I'm going to say the scary words, so be ready, the trans allegory. The character's whole...
Everybody make it.
The character's whole... Like, the main character's whole thing is they are a shapeshifter. And they are basically a henchman to a big villain. Like, the whole movie's supposed to be from, like, villain's point of view. But it, like, follows through on that. It's not... It's like, God, what's the movie called? We watched it. We talked about it on the podcast. Megamind. It's like a Megamind thing, but more fantasy.
Okay.
And like the guy that they work with is like, why are you always transforming? You just stay as a kid. It's easier. And they respond with like, easier for who? It's like there's a lot of like subtle little like tones and talks about it. But it's not like the point of the movie. It's just something that they discuss about like self-identity and what it means to be you and yada, yada, yada. And it does really well. It's crazy. When you talk about topics that people don't like to talk about, things end up doing really well for that. Because it's a new perspective on things.
Yeah.
You could have...
It's like a safe way to engage with it.
Yeah, you could have like the umpteenth movie about, hey, maybe... Or for the example... umpteenth game about, hey, maybe revenge is bad, we were talking about The Last of Us 2 earlier, like, yeah, we could talk about that, or we could talk about something deeper about it, like, why did Joel even do anything he did at the end of the first game? Like, yeah, she's our daughter, and she starts to hate us because of what we did, by the time that we get to the point where she starts to reconcile and starts to feel, like ready to forgive him, he dies. So you can't have the feeling of maybe these two can work out their emotions. Maybe we could have some more character moments. They get rid of that. And that could have been something fun you could have looked more into. But instead, they chose to do the safer AAA route and just killed off the character and said, all right, now you're playing as this character. Fight, fight, fight. Go punch things. Go kill things.
Right.
When you have a smaller company, you end up having more... Let me phrase that. When you have a smaller group of people working on a project, you have a better vision of what the product should be.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that works really well for independent filming. I really hope, like you said, that starts becoming the norm. Now, I hope it doesn't become the norm currently, because then they're just doing it so that way they could avoid the Writers Guild and the Actors Guild.
Right.
But I do hope that becomes a norm. Actually, people are theorizing the only reason they started producing news about Deadpool 3 was to point at the Writers Guild and Actors Guild being the reason why it stopped being filmed.
Yeah, I heard that theory. I think it holds water.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I only ever saw one photo. It was always just Wolverine and Deadpool just kind of like walking together. Like I didn't see any other photos. Yeah, I didn't see any other photos from set. That's why I was like,
I've heard like news about Hugh Jackman, like just like fun tidbits about him.
Huge Jackman?
Yeah, the Huge Jackman. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
While filming, but that's about it. Did you see that some executive?
Oh, Bob Iger?
No.
Oh, is this about the homeless thing?
Yeah.
Yep, I saw that. Yep, yeah, I saw that.
Like,
what's crazy is I've been watching.
Now I'm mad.
I've been watching on Twitter. The guy who running the show Adam Ruins Everything has been like the biggest source of information for me about everything. You should definitely, like, if you want to keep up to date, follow him and see what he's saying, because he's like out there talking and pointing out everything that's happening. He said this is the first time since 1963, I believe, that both the writers and the actors have been on strike together.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
That is pretty crazy.
Well, what's up?
Hopefully it goes well.
Yeah. What's even more crazy is the film we're going to talk about. I think we touched on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it.
All right. Let's start with the simple things. What did you think of the fact that it was both a movie within a play within a broadcast of the play?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
What did you think of the film being like a multi-layered inside of itself?
Oh,
like we're watching a television show of the play that stops the play sometimes to talk about the past of the play.
Right.
We probably sound like insane people, but that's how the movie is.
No, that's how it is. Yeah. They did something kind of similar in Isle of Dogs. It just in the sense that like it kept like cutting to like, oh, let's give you backstory on this thing real quick.
Right.
I mean, I like it. I think it's fun. I think it can definitely forces you to pay a bit more attention to like keep up with everything that's going on. But overall, positive. I actually saw another movie recently that did a similar thing. They spend the movie like talking about how they're going to make an action movie, and then at the end of the movie it like tries to frame it that the movie we just watched is the movie that they made together.
Then that was the Immeasurable Weight of a Massive Talent, right?
Yeah.
What? I'm looking at. Did you look up Google Asteroid City reviews?
Yep, that's always fun.
It's in at 2 stars.
Oh no.
What the fuck? We were conned by the 50s styling and the big names in the cast. We became worried about 5 minutes into the movies, but we stayed on, hoping for something coherent to happen. With some sort of storyline to unfold. My wife gave up before the hour and tried to fall asleep for the remainder of the film. Oh, fuck you. I cannot decide whether this movie is simply an exercise in extracting money from an audience whilst expanding the minimum amount of creative effort. What the fuck? I can't read these. I'm gonna get pissed off reading those.
If it makes you feel any better, Google's not a great place to go to for reviews.
Yeah.
It's got 6.9 on IMDb, which is pretty good for IMDb.
Right.
And it's got 73 by critics, 62 by audiences on Rotten Tomatoes.
I think the Google reviews worry me more because that's like the common man, right? Like the common man came into this movie probably not expecting what was given.
I don't necessarily think so.
Really?
Yeah, just I don't even know like how you do a Google review. I'm not sure. I think when people are like everybody knows about IMDb and like I'm sure like slightly less, but still the majority of people know about Rotten Tomatoes. I didn't even know Google did reviews until we started doing the show together.
Yeah, I would love to look more into them just to laugh at them. Holy shit, wait. Okay, so for context, the movie opens with someone on the front stage discussing the fact that you're going to be watching a play and like kind of setting the scene up. What I didn't know is that's Bryan Cranston.
Oh, you didn't realize? Yeah.
I didn't realize that that's Breaking Bad guy. I cannot fucking believe I didn't notice that.
And he's in the other movies too.
Oh yeah, he is. I fucking that's crazy to me. I don't know why I didn't realize that sooner.
He's the dog.
I'm the dog. But yeah, the movie basically opens with him explaining this is a play you're gonna be watching, written by a famous writer and director of other plays. And I believe he's the same character as the father, right? The actor who's playing the guy who wrote the play is playing the father, but he's actually being played by somebody else. Right? There's the scene where the guy goes into the meeting with the writer and then comes out dressed up like the writer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jason Schwartzman, Augie Steenbeck. Yeah. I'm not crazy. I know what I'm talking about.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah, this film's a little hard to follow at times, but you have to because it jumps from the Asteroid City, which is in the play itself. Asteroid City is a city where they do nuclear testing and a meteor fell onto the Earth. So every year they have people come to the place to. They have smart, intelligent kids come, and it's like the Metacritic, but for movies/veggies. Yes, exactly. Welcome, Wiljo. They go to this town for a big event of like, oh, here's all the cool things we invented, and somebody wins at the end of it.
Yeah.
So there's that plot happening, as well as the main father being a photographer who does like war photography. Turns out his son's there, and his wife has recently passed away. And the movie kind of deals with the grief and loss of the father or the mother, but in a really weird way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea of this film, for me, the idea and the tone and the theme of this film is what it means to move on, how to keep moving even if things have drastically changed. What do you think of that for the takeaway?
I'm thinking I agree.
Because you go ahead.
I was just gonna say I am still brain is still processing a lot of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think you're right.
Like, this isn't really a movie we could go scene by scene on because of how weirdly structured it is.
Yeah.
But we could talk about the themes and everything that I really want to point out. There's this recurring line of why does Augie burn his hand on the cooking iron, which is brought up really early in the movie, and we as the audience go like, wait, what the fuck is he talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of explain, like, there's a scene in the movie where Augie just takes his hand and burns it on the cooking iron. and they explain it. The writer's like, oh, maybe it's because this is the reason. Maybe I shouldn't put that in though. That sounds silly. And by the end of the film, once again, he asks, why does Augie burn his hand on the kitchen iron? And this is at like the end of the movie where like pandemonium has broke out during the play. He literally walks off set of the play to then go to the backstage while the movie is still happening in the world of the film.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a weird, like, dream, weird sequence like that.
Yeah.
And I think the point of that is that there isn't a reason he does it. He does it because it makes him feel something in a moment where everything felt strange and foreign, and it made him move past the event that had taken place before that. Same thing with the alien that appears. The alien appears, and all the kids are freaking out. The government's freaking out, but all the parents are still behaving the same. Like, there's a bunch of conversations with the parents be like, aliens can't exist, aliens aren't real. Then the alien appears, the parents stay about the same.
Huh.
Did you notice that at all?
Yeah. I guess yeah. No, I noticed it, but didn't really process it that way.
I mean, that's what I was that's what I was figuring out with the movie on my second watch. I will admit, I did watch this movie like 2 times. So I had some more time to kind of figure out what they were trying to say with it.
No, it's a good thing.
Pat,
I think we need it for sure.
Yeah, Pat also, like, I went to go see it with Pat the second time. He's like, I probably need to see this one more time to get a full meaning. And I do agree. I think it's a little aggressive at times with what it's trying to say, and it gets kind of confusing. Men would rather burn their hand instead of go to the therapy. Literally true. Literally what happens in this movie.
Yep.
Yeah, the main character. Augie Steenbeck. He's bringing his kids and trying to give them the fact that their mom had died. And the older kid kind of takes it better than expected, and it's just because I think he's like mentally mature and everything. The 3 girls, however, are like trying to bring her back to life as witches.
Right.
Which I have a boss who has 3 daughters of his own, and I told him about that. He's like, yeah, no, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely what girls are like at that age. You think they're like this sweet, innocent person, but then like they're just fucking weird.
Sorry, I got a text from work. Yeah, no, for sure. But it's funny watching these movies when characters do stuff like that. I'm always like, oh, yep, there we go. That seems right. That's what I imagine happening.
There's this actress lady who he sits next to, her daughter is like also one of the inventor people. I don't remember, what did she make? Like, there's a bunch of kids who make different things. He makes a thing that allows him to put a symbol on the moon. Someone makes a jetpack. Someone makes a gun that can vaporize things. And she made the plants.
Oh, she made the plant growing thing,
yeah, right? That they're unedible, but they can still make the plants grow faster.
Right.
The parents are ready because they saw Ben 10. I don't know. This movie takes place in a fictional version of the 50s. That's why I saw someone who was like, oh, the peace symbol didn't made until the 70s, so that couldn't be right. Shut up. Shut up, bitch. It's fantasy. Shut up. Got his ass.
It transcends time.
True. I want to talk too about how, to me, he's filmed this one differently than he does his other stuff. You notice that?
I've only seen the 3 others, and they were all pretty different from each other, so I wouldn't feel comfortable making a claim like that.
There's a scene where he does like a 3/4 shot, where it's the main character is like looking off in the distance, and it's like the 3/4 shot of his face. Usually they do he either does like a front face or a side profile. I don't really see him doing the 3/4 shot, so that really threw me off the film. I didn't mind it. It just was like, oh, this is a different angle. This is interesting.
It's just to clarify, a 3/4 shot is when you're looking at the character on like a 45-degree angle. Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
I agree. I noticed that.
There's a lot of
these movies did make me think a lot about like
camera
framing
work
of shots and how how like directors will, I'm just gonna repeat all my words a second time. Frame their shots with their characters, because the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, yeah, this is weird. So then it makes me think about other movies, and I'm like, huh, okay, so these are the differences.
One of the shots I think about a lot for like a good his sort of film style is every scene could be a painting with how everyone's positioned and focused on. And the one that I always come back to for this one is when the bomb drops and he takes a photo of it the first time, where it's that big smoke cloud off in the distance and him looking, and the camera's like split right in half, where it's the building he's inside and then the bomb that's dropping. And it's like that. I'm like, damn, that's such a good, well done shot.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of like close-up eye shots too, near the end of the film too, especially when they bring up a character that wasn't in the film in the end, but they have this like line of dialogue with each other. That's the dialogue that in my mind kind of cements my idea of you have to keep moving on even if things change. Ben? No, not Ben. Do you remember the scene at the end with the lady from the other play? Like he walks off and takes a smoke break, and they tell him like, "Oh, you have like
outside?
this." Yeah, outside.
Yeah.
And she goes to this line of dialogue about what her character was supposed to do, and sort of reads off the lines that he was supposed to say. And that kind of cemented to me when I rewatched it the idea of like, this is about moving forward with life. It's about moving on, and even when things change so suddenly, like sometimes it's just best to keep moving. At least that's like from my reading of it. I don't know if you had a different reading of the film.
I think I just wasn't sure. I'm looking at it right now.
Are you watching the scene right now?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Do you have it on legalsoftware.exe?
It's a browser, not an application.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My goodness.
But I think that kind of cements. And then there's that weird scene right afterwards about like you can't fall asleep. You can't stay awake if you don't fall asleep. I don't know what that was for. No, we are not watching it on Twitter.
I have yet to watch a movie on Twitter, though I have seen them.
Yeah, they're very funny. I'm surprised Elongated Muskrat hasn't jumped on that of getting people in trouble for that, but oh well. He's doing everything he can except making the platform better.
I don't know. I have not had a worse experience with Twitter since the change, but I know others say that they have, so
it depended.
What it is.
It's dependent on like what sort of stuff you're into. I try to stay on my For You page. I try to stay on my following page as much as possible. For You is going to be filled with like takes that are going to try to get you upset or to try to get you to interact with the platform. Just the following page, just this is my stuff. This movie sounds hella confusing, by the way. Oh yeah, it is 100%. If you aren't paying attention, it gets a little weird at times. Just remember, it's a movie about people watching a play.
Yep.
and you are the people watching the play within the movie, while also explaining the
Until
history.
we see a scene of the people watching the play.
Right, and usually that's in black and white. So, like, oh yeah, that's the other thing he does really well too. He makes it very clear. At least there's hot people in it. Yeah, there's very hot people in it. Go to the list of the hot people that are in it. There is Bryan Cranston.
Scarlett Johansson.
No, that's it.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Tom Hanks. There you go.
Willem Dafoe.
Is on the phone this one? Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, barely, but yeah.
I forgot he's in this one. Yeah, I'm so used to him being like the buff, like strong guy in Wes Anderson films. He's also in Fantastic Mr. Fox as the Rat,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very fun little character.
I should give that movie a rewatch too, because I only saw it the one time.
Mr.
With
Fox.
you. And it was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a classic. That was a classic good one. That one's like probably the least confusing. There's a scene that I really like about that film where early on, Mr. Fox is talking to his wife and it's like, by the way, you look absolutely glowing today. I don't know what you did. And it cuts to her and she's a candle mold that's like lit on the inside. Like she isn't the same figure as she was before. It's like a different total, like it's a different material and everything. And I thought that's such a funny little gag. I guess we could also talk about the color palette of this movie.
Yeah, sure.
That's the other thing he does likes to do.
His movies spend a lot of time being black and white.
Mm-hmm.
This one doesn't spend a lot of time doing that, but there is definitely time spent on it. And it's only it's when we're looking at the play.
Mm-hmm.
Or looking at the people watching the play.
Mm-hmm. Are there people watching the play? No, the play is on.
That's you.
Yeah, we are watching the people watching the play.
Mm-hmm.
I think Pat pointed this out to me, and I feel very stupid for not noticing it, but each of his films have like a palette that he chooses from that he tries to stay within the film itself. Like the big one for God, what's the one you talked about? Isle of Dogs is like this purple gray color scheme, purple gray and like red, which is very very interesting to see. It's because he references the best Pokemon games. Okay, sure, buddy. All right, sure, buddy. I'm actually gonna double check the Fantastic Mr. Fox has it like orange, almost like evening colors to it. Autumn colors. That's what I'm looking for, like an autumn palette.
Yeah.
Then there was the one I just said. Fuck. Isle of Dogs. Isle of Dogs is much more like dirty brown than I remember. Purple.
Yeah, it makes sense. They're in like a wasteland.
Yeah, you can't have a lot of cool color here. Usually the city is what had all the bright colors to it.
Right.
And then this movie has a lot of the orange blue color aesthetic that I fucking adore. The like Western mixed with like a bit of blue. I don't know. I just love this palette that he chose for this film. Like I'm looking at one of the frames on the IMDb page, the one with the adults talking and the guy holding the sprinklers. I can't remember his name for the life of me. Why can't I remember his name? Office guy. Find the name. Steve Carell. That's it.
Yeah.
Is this a stop motion guy? Yeah, he's stop motion. Yeah, you're good. There's a frame. It's the second picture on the IMDb page where like you can see all the colors that he's choosing. He's very deliberate with everyone's personalities as well as like staying with the color scheme. I wish I could pull this up, but I can't save it. I can't. Never mind.
I see it. I found it.
HTML, son of a bitch. What's up with that, by the way? Why are we getting rid of JPEGs?
Oh, are we getting rid of JPEGs?
Yeah, I can't find JPEGs anymore when I'm trying to find photos to save. They're all like other images. It's getting ridiculous.
Bastards. I don't know.
Literally.
Is are JPEGs like outdated? Like, are they not
No, they're all becoming
particularly?
WebPs. They're all becoming .webps instead of JPEGs. And .webps, you can't use the photo. It's like a way that to make it to where you can't just save a photo and like use it as your own photo.
Just use the snipping tool.
Yeah, I guess, but that's way more work.
My I bought a nice Razer keyboard. There's
Mm.
actually a button on the side of it that pulls up the snipping tool automatically.
Are you
It's
kidding me?
great.
Bro, that
Yeah,
sounds so awesome.
it's wonderful. And it's like it's literally on the side of the keyboard. So like every once in a while I'll like accidentally hit it with like my phone or something. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of annoying. But yeah, when I intend to use it, when there's like something I gotta capture real quick, it's so nice.
It's that sensors are gonna be. But I found this photo while complaining. Found this amazing photo of of
Tom Cruise doing the Tom Cruise run.
yeah, with money running behind him, like poorly photoshopped money.
hmm I actually, in the time that we were doing this
Mm-hmm.
um, show, I saw online it said that opening weekend was 230 million for
Oh,
the Tom
what the
Cruise movie.
fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, and I think you said they
80
spent
million.
270. So
Let's see. They spent. I still have it up actually. 291 million.
291. Okay, so they haven't made it back yet, but sounds like they won't have any issues.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Oh, 235 million. My bad.
Yeah, they'll make that back. Yeah, this is a hard movie to talk about. It's like I don't want to get in anything specific because I think it's a very good watch through. If it's this, I think this is like a good first Wes Anderson film for people. You know, it has a
Mhm.
little bit of everything that he usually does. It has stop motion in it. It has the camera angles and camera, like different camera. How do I put this? He uses different cameras, either like a 4:3 aspect ratio or the widescreen, depending on the scene that they're in. They have the all the characters that you know and talk about that are well known in media. I just feel like this is a good starter one. Is there a new Mission Impossible with the Shaun of the Dead guy? Yeah, we're talking about that. Shaun of the Dead, that's where you're getting that guy from? Shaun of the Dead, really?
That's fine, honestly.
Fair enough, fair. But I don't know. Is there anything you took away from this film? We
um,
talked about like camera angles and that sort of thing, but I'm like more curious if you took like writing stuff away or character moments.
um, there was one scene I remember sticking out to me. Let me try to remember which one it is.
Mm.
While I'm conjuring that up, I pulled up Fantastic Mr. Fox also.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, you'll notice they spend a lot of time underground. You know, the dirt is sort of like a brown orange type, and
Mm.
then when they are above ground, like it's set in like an older time period, so like the buildings are brick, which is still that like reddish color, and then it is the fall. We see a couple trees and they've got orange leaves, so yeah, the color palette seems very intentional. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's very pleasing to look at.
Mm-hmm. Where where are they? They're in this dome, the observatory.
Oh, they're in the where they're looking at the stars and everything.
Uh-huh.
That should be right after. Oh god, I'm trying to remember. I want to say it's before the alien.
No, after.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. I should talk about this. I really need to talk about this while you look for that. So there's a scene in this when Scarlett Johansson is naked.
Yeah, the
And
best scene.
yeah, apparently she had to direct that scene herself because Wes Anderson was too embarrassed to do it himself. Oh, Billy Murray was originally cast in Steve Carell's role but contracted COVID-19 before filming. Ah, damn.
Ooh.
Um, Yeah, I fucking love that little tidbit. Missed opportunity. Yeah, can't believe that. That was a fun. Yeah, so there's a character that lives across from the photographer, and she's a famous actress. I talked about her briefly before, but she has him roll through some of her scenes with her, and it's very very fun to watch these like little character moments that like it's a character that she's an actress within the play. So the play she does in the movie doesn't exist, but it more is about the character than it is about what the movie's going to be about, which I think is really interesting. When you think of about that level of like, oh, this character is deeply troubled and broken, but she's this famous actress who takes these broken roles. And she gives herself a reason for why she does it and then second guesses it. And that kind of once again feeds to that argument of like the movie being about, you know, what does it mean to do things? Why do we do the way things we do? And it's just because, you know, we do it and we move on.
Right.
All right, what were you looking for? Did you find it?
I was mostly just gonna hit on it like they're in this observatory with the large telescope, and there's like controls to aim it at a certain spot, you know, and like it goes kind of haywire, and like the camera's all shaky and moving around, and like yeah, the characters are trying to fix it while it's moving back and forth. And I think it was like after that scene had finished was when I was like, I need to figure out more about like just framing in general and how shots of characters are taken, because I need, yeah, the differences are minute enough that like you can't really identify what's changed, but
it still feels
noticeable enough. Yeah.
And the next frame having them not centered, where they're like talking and like both characters aren't in the center of the frames as they usually are, it makes that much more jarring, because that's what you come to be used to in the films of his.
Right. And
I'm so glad Shaky Cam is almost dead in cinema.
We'll see, I guess.
You were saying?
Like anything else, it can be used well or poorly. But I have found it tends to be poor, so.
Oh, right. The new Transformers movie came out and flopped, too.
Oh.
I completely forgot about that. I think it did. Fuck.
It'll make its money in China, I'm sure.
Transformers movie it made $245 million. Made $381 million. Okay.
Yep.
It costs. Okay, so they didn't make their money back. Okay, $200 million. Okay, so it made its money back. What this? This is Two Broken Thumbs, the podcast. We're talking about Asteroid City. But I think we're nearing the end of the discussion. I was more interested in getting you to watch some Wes Anderson stuff, because you've talked before about how I'm more in the mindset of films, cinematography, and music. I feel like this is a great example of cinematography done right. It's different and unique, but it makes you really think about like a film's shot composition. And hopefully moving forward, we can see more of like when a good shot has happened and when a bad shot has happened, or like when a shot doesn't give enough information.
Yeah, hopefully. If I I think that'd be good to be able to like, for me at least, to be able to identify that sort of stuff better.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I feel like we do pretty well with like writing and characters a lot of the time. So
yeah,
no shame in expanding.
And this movie has good writing and good characters, so there really isn't much to talk about there. You know, it's
it plays pretty excellently.
The main child, the main boy character, his whole thing is that he's dealing with the grief of his mom dying in a very unique way, of him being just be like, yeah, she's dead. I kind of already knew. I'm kind of shy. She called me a bookworm. She thought it was funny. It was it's an interesting, well done film. Elemental learned to swim and stop drowning in the box. Yeah, it made money overseas. Yeah. Elemental went from like the lowest grossing Disney movie to suddenly just making a bunch of money overseas.
Yeah, funny how that works.
Yeah, crazy, right?
I've
Crazy would
wondered,
yeah.
'cause, like you said, um, it had looked like they said it had like the lowest opening of any Pixar movie, but then like the next week they're like, oh, it's actually made like however many 100 million. It's like, oh, I guess it just took a minute to get going, which I
I
think
think
makes sense.
I
Did you
think
see any? Did we talk about this? Did you see any marketing for Elemental?
when I did, it was about the stupid plotted plant characters, so not really.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I
I
think
think that's the problem.
I think the marketing was because of overseas. The story is not as American as people think it is, if that makes sense.
Like Western or?
Yeah, it's so the films, from what I understand, the film's whole message is supposed to be about racism. That's pretty cool. They haven't done that before. But more specifically about like people who come from other countries moving to somewhere else and treated as like a lesser individual because of that. Like the fire people are supposed to be seen as like Koreans. And then the water people are supposed to be seen as like the rich people of the country that built the country up. And like that's supposed to be like the center of like, oh, we could still date even though we're coming from two different worlds. Like it's kind of obvious. And kind of boring when you put it like that. Americans hate racism. It's true. It's true. We hate it. That's why we're the least racist country. Anyways,
I know we're pretty.
we're working on it.
We're pretty good about it these days.
Yeah, we're good. Did you watch? Do you know who Drupus is? The animator.
No.
He recently did a video about the Confederacy, and he did a little funny animated video where this guy was just like, the Civil War was more complicated than people might think to do. It was actually about states' rights, and he just interrupts by going, states' rights to do what?
Yeah.
Like anytime the guy had a point he made, he's like, yeah, but also the states' right to do what?
Right.
My favorite is he's at one point he's like, it's part of our history. He says, you guys lasted for 4 years. The annoying orange has lasted longer than the Confederacy has.
Oh no.
Goobus Doobus, that's it. Yeah. I was just given a watch. It's fucking hilarious. He got dunked online for it. People were like, but, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Anyways, that was a side tangent that I didn't mean to fall down. What were we talking about again?
That's all good. I'm putting on another tab. We're gonna look at it.
Are you gonna watch it? Here,
well, later, but yes.
Oh, okay, cool. I like that dude. Yeah, he makes some pretty fun animation stuff. I like him. He's the funny broccoli man. Yeah. What were we talking about?
I wanted to mention I should make it now. I don't know the names of any characters in this movie.
I have the list.
Okay, our main guy, like the photographer man.
He has a
like
name.
how.
He has a name.
Yeah. Which one?
It's Augie.
Augie, that's right. So something that stood out to me, we talked earlier about how like stilted a lot of the performances seem to be, and you had mentioned how even though like the performances are stilted, that means that when a character, you had said that allows like characters to become very animated later when they need to be. And I think that's only helped by like the dichotomy. Essentially, you're going from like so little I don't want to say emotion, but so little going into the animation of a character into like them being like wild and exaggerated.
Yeah.
I think it's the second or third time that he's talking to Scarlett Johansson, like just from their windows, and she looks like Marilyn Monroe in this shot. They take a lot of time to show him like walking around his room, like he shows her his pictures, and then he like hangs them up, and it's not done like fast or trying to think of a good adjective here. It's not very mechanical. It's not very like quick. It's like very slow. It makes him feel a lot more human.
When he's like putting the photos back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's something he's passionate about. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Elaborate? Is that the word you're looking for?
Elaborate? Not necessarily. Just like you think about
like when a character, to describe it, when a character moves from point A to point B in this movie, they don't walk, they like march to the point. They
move with purpose.
Yeah, they move with purpose and then stop when they need to stop moving. They don't swing or anything, they just stop still.
It's very like, you could think like military walking. Like, yeah. They go, they get to their place, they do the thing they need to do, and then like walk away.
Mm-hmm. So when they have those more human
it's
moments,
very slow and methodical. He isn't moving with any kind of purpose. He's chilling. He's like taking his time to like take care of the photographs that he's showing her, and then like carefully put them back up.
Yeah, and we didn't really talk about this, but there's an alien that appears in this movie. We kind of brushed on it, but
oh yeah, that bit was fun.
Yeah, the alien was super well animated too. He was like very bouncy. It was very interesting to watch him move. You're kind of just watching it in like this big awe and inspiration. And it's also done with claymation. Like he did the like stop motion animation for the alien, which is super cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think we can wrap with that sort of take of Wes Anderson's stuff is always very stilted, but when it needs to be character driven or needs to have that emotional moment, he can always deliver.
Yeah.
And I think that makes him very unique among other film directors that people know of, talk about. And for that reason, I'm giving this movie 1 atom bomb.
Whoa.
A whole atom bomb.
An entire asteroid.
Wow.
I do really like how the alien poses with the asteroid.
Yeah. The fucking when he sees the camera, he's just like, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that was a burp. Jesus. But you know what?
I forgive you.
This is a fun movie, but we're gonna have fun next month.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're gonna see Barbie, baby. We got Barbie. Woo!
That's right.
We got fucking Barbie. Woo! You know, Hasbro has like 20 other movies in the works right now.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Hasbro has like 20 other movies in the works. Or no, who makes Barbie? Who makes Barbie? Mattel.
Oh, okay.
So if this movie succeeds, we're just gonna have a bunch of Mattel-based toy movies, which will be interesting. Do you think it's gonna be good?
Fun. Barbie looks like it'll be fun.
I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I guess I don't really know what to expect. I feel comfortable saying I bet it'll be fun. Anything else, everything's on the table.
Yeah, I'm surprised by how much Ken posting they're doing for the film.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking, and this is interesting to me. This might sound like a weird side tangent. Do you know Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was like really little. Yeah.
Yeah. Same. There was apparently a thing that happened where they showed a bunch of teenage boys Powerpuff Girls, and then they asked them like, "Hey, do you guys watch this at home?" And like one kid raised their hand, and then they said, "All right, now everyone put your heads down," and they did the same question again, and more kids put their hands up.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think the same thing's happening with Barbie, where Ryan Gosling is really pushing Ken for the like guys and be like, it's okay if you guys play with Barbies when you're younger. Who the fuck cares? It's a toy.
Right.
Like kind of doing that whole like breaking the gender
norms. Gender norms.
Yeah. I think it's pretty cool. That's pretty cool of him.
Yeah.
I've always liked Ryan Gosling. He's a great actor. I loved him in La La Land, and I'm kind of excited to see him in this film as this like weird, quirky idiot I kind of want to see where things go with him.
I'm excited to see it too. Yeah.
As we did My Little Pony
I
too.
think it would be really cool if it ended up being a movie with like a really like heavy emotional base, you know, like if it has like a really good story to tell. But also if not, and it's just like an hour and a half of fun, like that's cool too.
Yeah, as long as it's fun, that's all that matters. And we're gonna talk about it on the podcast. They did Marvel and Star Wars too. Mattel? Wait, really? Oh, okay. Mattel has 45 films in the works right now.
Oh jeez.
Apparently, one of them is Barney, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like in the work actively or if it's like passively now with the strike.
Probably passively.
Yeah.
Do you support the strike?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, we love to hear it. One thing I remember reading about is people are like, should we stop watching media and like not do anything? And the guy I was talking about earlier, Adam Ruins Everything, he said, if you want, you can. It's not necessary because in the end, people are still going to consume the product, even if we're on strike. It means a lot if you do, and like instead donate it to us. But ultimately, this is a fight between us and Hollywood. And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of disagree. I feel like it's one of those things again where like we as the market have to pay with our wallets. And if we don't go see things that are being made during the strike and after once like it starts taking effect, I feel like we're going to have a help in pushing them getting the better work environments that they need.
Right.
It's a weird situation to find yourself in because there's these movies that are exciting and I want to go see that weren't affected by the strike. But now I'm like, fuck. Where's my duty? Do you remember that one animated Barbie movie about a secret dimension in a closet or whatever? No, you're thinking of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Come on, everyone knows that.
I did not watch the Barbie movies, but I think I might have to. Rachel seems a big fan of them.
Oh no.
Uh-huh.
Well, you have to watch them before them come out because then you'll have all the knowledge about the films.
All the lore.
You have all the Barbie lore, the Barbor, if you would.
The Barbie cinematic universe.
VCU, baby.
That's right. Their end game is like they have to go to war with like the Toy Story characters.
Oh my fucking god, that'd be so cool. They have to fight G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Bag scenes from the movie haunt my brain. Bag scenes from that movie haunt my brain. Wildry, are you okay, buddy? You good? Okay, bud. All right. Well, I think is there anything else you want to say?
From the Barbie Dimension movie?
No, you're not. Okay, good. As long as you're not okay.
Okay.
Well, I have a tournament I gotta get ready for. You have video to watch. So I think we're good to wrap up, right?
I think so.
If you guys want to come see these live, come to my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/Cole's Corner, where James and I will be here talking about films. We always do.
That's right.
At some point. This was a rough month because you were out of town and busy with work, so we kind of couldn't find time.
Yeah, I got pushed back a lot.
But next...
And we might have a similar issue next month. I've got Rachel in town until the 12th.
Have her on as a guest.
Have her on as a guest.
She knows the Barbie lore. That'd be perfect.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll have to, oh, jeez. I'll have to get like an actual mic and put it on the desk.
Babe, I need your Barbor.
Babe, what happened in the seventh Barbie movie? I need to know.
We need to know now. We need to know if that's a reference to something.
Is it a deep reference?
Is it a deep reference? God damn it! Just shaking violently. I can't look like a fool. I can't look like a fool on the internet.
I hate when that happens.
God, that's the worst. All right, well, thank you everybody so much for watching. Hope to see you guys next time, and have a great night. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.